Today I want to talk about this case and how magnificently spacious it is. So, all the fans that are on here came with the case. They're stock fans, but they get the job done. Like this one when it's ramped up, and if you put your hand here, you can feel it really well. And anyways, yeah, like I was saying, this one right here, you can kind of feel it. If anything, like if you really want to feel the air, you might want to upgrade this one. And then these two right here, I feel like they work, but since this thing is like so far out, it's not so far out, but like it's quite a bit of distance, really, you're not really gonna feel all of it. But if you take this top part off, yeah, you can tell it's working. But yeah, no complaints for the fans overall. They get the job done. They work really well. With this thing, you can control it. You have the minus sign so that it's like really subtle. You don't really want noise, you just put it right there. But if you're gaming and you want to keep the stuff cool, just push it all the way to the left and voila, you got your fans ramping up. By default, they don't really go really fast as you would feel they would. So if you need to, and if that does bug you, then you can go ahead and change the settings on the motherboard. I know that there's a way to change the settings so that you can actually manually tune the fans inside of the BIOS. But yeah, there's so much room. My lighting is really bad, I'm sorry guys. There's a lot of room in this 530 Phantom NZXT case. Lots of, like, the primary reason why I got this case was because I didn't want to do any measurements and I wanted to make sure everything fit, and this was like my first build entirely, so I didn't want to go through any complications, you know. Like, I didn't want to make any modifications to the case just in case something didn't fit, but everything fit very well. I was able to get my water block up there as well as fans on the other side right there. So this is on the bottom, and they're both hooked onto the same screws I should say, so they're not gonna go anywhere. They're screwed in. And then yeah, like, I'm just using one drive bay. I don't really use it that much. I got it just in case, and at the time when I did buy this, I bought Windows 8 on a CD, a DVD. So that's how I installed my copy of Windows. I didn't use a USB thumb drive. I have Windows 10 now, by the way, but originally, the first time around, I had my hard drive on the top slot and my solid state drive on the bottom slot. The reason why I switched them around was because I was just thinking that my hard drive would get more air room, so that like when it's getting hot, like if I'm downloading, like, I don't know, Warzone or something, then maybe it gets too hot on the top, and then there's like only like the heat can go down, but if the heat goes up, I feel like it can travel around much more efficiently. But now the solid state drive is like right on top of there, so I don't know if that's gonna affect my performance. We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure it'll be fine, but it's probably gonna cause the solid state temperatures to go just a little bit higher before it was, because when it was down here, there was much more room for air to just go up. But I feel like this is probably going to be the better scenario. So that because if the hard drive was up on the top right here, that heat can only go down, and but if the heat can go up, and like it has a little wiggle room on the bottom underneath too, then it should be fine. So this right here, there's like, I really have nothing. There's so much room in this case that I could put anything I want right here, you know. I don't know what, maybe some figurines. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, like if you're only running a solid state drive, you don't need that compartment or that compartment. You could just take them off. And this case actually gives you 2 of these compartments, so you can put like one right here and then the other one right there if you want to. But yeah, if you only use a solid state drive, or if you use 2 even, you can put one right here, this part right here, and then behind the motherboard, in between the back panel, there's another spot right there, right behind the motherboard, like in the center. So if you have 2 of them, you don't need these. But I have a 3TB hard drive, and I was really adamant about storing games on there, so that's why I have that. And then to boot my system, I'm using a solid state drive, which is 480 gigabytes. And over the past 6 years, that's been plenty of memory for me. Plenty and plenty and plenty. What else can we talk about? Let's see. There's a lot of customizational options if you guys want to do that. There's 2 holes for tubing if you guys want to do that water cooling stuff. I kind of wanted to do that, but then, like, as you guys can tell, I'm not really up there with maintenance. This thing got really dirty, and I just kept holding it off, cleaning it. I was a little bit more responsible cleaning it before, but yeah, I just got lazy, probably because of work. We're pretty much doing 12 hours every day since, like, so you want to put a solid state drive, you can right there. But then also you can put 2 more fans right here. Can you guys? I'm pretty sure you guys can. Well, you can see that one, but underneath the solid state placement, you can put it down there. I'll go ahead and put the case on its back for you. 1 second. Let me pause this. Yes. So you guys can put 2 more. Oh wow. I should have put this in this position because I can see some grime right there. I'll go ahead and wipe that off. But there was some hard to reach areas where I really couldn't get to cleaning. I didn't use any spray cans, any compressed air. I just went ahead and did just a good wipe down. And on the not the CPU, on the motherboard, I kind of gently did a little brushes here and there. I didn't want to get too hardcore because I don't want to damage anything. But yeah, back to this topic. You can put 2 fans right here, and I believe those fans, you want them to intake air, push air through inside rather than put it out, push air out, because that's on the bottom of the case. So it would make more sense to actually just push air up and get that, push air up into the case and get air out of the case up there as well, if you guys know what I mean. Okay, let me put this back on its 4 feet. Oh, about that whole pushing air inside of the case thing on the bottom. The power supply is the exception because that thing runs hot and you want that air out. You know, that's the exception. That makes sense. That's logic. Alright. So yeah, lots of wiggle room. Lots of customizability options. If you want, even, you can put another fan over there. There's room for one more. If you wanna. Can you guys see that? If you guys want to. Maybe I gotta go. Oh, that's the way to. Right there. You guys get the idea. I'm sure you guys can. You guys understand what I'm talking about. 1, 2, and then another one right here. Even though this thing is like in the way, I'm sure it'd still help a little because the air would be pushed out that way anyway. But yeah, pretty good case. Only thing is they're not in production anymore. If you can find one used, I'd recommend it. The only thing, let me see. Do I have any complaints about this case? It's a heavy case, but I mean, look at the size of this thing. It's obviously it's going to be heavy. So I can't complain about that. Probably this part, this design feature. This part's kind of like covering some of the fan. But does that even oh, sorry, I'm showing you guys my foot. Does that even matter though? Maybe a little. I don't know. It doesn't really bug me though, because I do like the aesthetic. I do like that look. We haven't have the same thing going up on here, so you can tell that's what they were going for. Any complaints? Any complaints? The cable management was like on the other panel. That was fine. Like there was things to hook up onto to put your twist ties and stuff like that. So that's a pro actually. Maybe, oh yes. So this thing, this is my gripe. The USBs up on top, I know some of you guys don't even use them, so it's not really a big deal for you guys. I mean, it doesn't really bug me, but sometimes it's like, is this bad for my USBs? So these USBs are sitting kind of on a slant, so it's not straight. Wait. So you guys see that? It's not sticking up. It's kind of going like that, you know? It's like that, not straight up. So over time, you have your cables just drooping like that. You can tell that I kind of, maybe I could straighten it out like that, but no. Anyways, yeah, these USBs are not straight up. They're not straight like vertically. They're kind of angled a little to the side. So I don't know, like maybe they could have kept this thing, because I know like this is slanted, it's for the design, it's for the shape. They could have kept this bezel the way it was, but maybe this thing they could have still somehow made the USB still sticking up like that. You guys know what I'm talking about? Probably not. I'm really bad at explaining things. But yeah, what I mean is like keep this the way it is, but then still somehow drill the hole like that, but maintain its posture correctly, you know? I feel like that's like my only gripe with this case. And sometimes these panels, they don't stay all the way in, but it's not really that big of a noticeable issue. I think I could have cleaned this a little bit more right here. That's the other thing. Whoa. You guys gotta remember, it's heavier on one side than on the other side. So I apologize if I'm scaring you guys to death. Maybe another thing is these, what you call it? Honeycomb, I'm just gonna call them honeycomb bezels. You can take these off, but they're kind of pinched. I'll show you guys. Let me show you guys. Pause. Okay, so I have the top panel off now, and actually there's more hinges that I'm missing than I thought that I was missing. So I have one right there. You guys can't see, I'm sorry. And then I pretty much have these ones on this side. Those ones have been able to stay on there pretty well. But yeah, if you want to take these off, you kind of have to pinch them straight forward so that they slide out. And I guess I don't remember doing it all too much, but I do remember doing it about like probably 3 times. Sorry, I'm not even showing you guys what I'm doing. Let's see. This one's kind of hard to get. That thing is like, there's not enough room. That wall is too close. Oh, I feel like it's gonna come off. Shoot. So yeah, over time of doing that and then pinching it back in place, it kind of, the other ones were just really weak. There's still a piece of this one there, and they just come off. They just snap off, and then that's it. Okay, so I kind of got it off. By the way, big difference, right? Big difference. I mean, if you guys haven't seen my before and after of how grimy it was, ugh, it was pretty dirty. So yeah, you can take this off. There's also one right here that you can take off. And then behind it, there's like another, it's like another one of these things, whatever you want to call these. Let me see. There's one of these things, but like right in there, in between the fan and this honeycomb bezel, there's another one of these things. So I had to clean that too, because that thing, I think that was like the dirtiest thing of all. Like, you couldn't even see through it. It was really bad. I apologize to the whole PC community out there that had to witness that. But okay, where did I put the honeycomb? It was right here, right in front of my face. Okay, so yeah, so these things just, there was one right there. And oh no, wait, it's still there. It got smashed off, I guess. Oh no, there's not really anything there. There's really not much there, but yeah, this was one of them that snapped off. Pretty much all of this side has been snapped off just from like wear and tear. And not much wear and tear, mind you. I didn't do this like every single day or every month or every half a year. So these ones, for some reason, have stayed intact. The ones in the back, but the ones in the front, they just like they were nails. I just clipped them off, you know. Speaking of toenails, just kidding. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put that back on. But yeah, those are like my only two complaints about this case. It's a beautiful case. I love this case. If I were, if, pretty soon I know I'm gonna make an upgrade, at least the graphics card as well. I mean, at least the graphics card. But I feel like eventually down the line I'm gonna also make an upgrade to the CPU. I feel like I can get more years out of the motherboard. It was like an Asus Pro Z90 or something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, this case is here to stay with me. I'm gonna wear out this case until I either come along something that I really love, or something drastic happens, like it breaks. I doubt that'll happen though, because these things are tough. Every time I take off this top thing though, well, not anymore. I feel like I've broken it in, but I remember the first times taking this thing off, I just felt like it was gonna snap in half. I was so scared. So that's kind of, I guess that could be a con, but it's not a problem for me anymore because I've done it to the point where it comes off a little easier now. So like, and I know this thing can take it, so I just manhandle this case and I just rip these things apart. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing together and then set her up, and then hopefully make a video. Cheers. Thanks, guys.